Welcome to this Tutor to You Sociology topic video for GCSE Sociology. In this video we're going to look at another classic text, this time Schooling in Capitalist America by Bowles and Gintis. Schooling in Capitalist America, written by Samuel Bowles and Herbert Gintis in 1976, is a seminal work in the sociology of education. The book critically examines the American education system and argues that schools serve to maintain and reproduce the existing social and economic inequalities that are inherent in a capitalist society. Bowles and Gintis approach their study from a Marxist perspective, which views society through the lens of class struggle and economic exploitation. They argue that the education system is designed to benefit the capitalist class, the bourgeoisie, those who own the means of production, by preparing students to accept their roles in the labour market, whether as compliant workers or as managers and professionals. The Marxist perspective emphasises that schools are not neutral institutions. Instead, they are deeply embedded in the social and economic structures of capitalism. Bowles and Gintis used a combination of theoretical analysis and empirical research to support their arguments. They drew on existing sociological and economic theories, as well as data from various educational studies and surveys. Their approach included analysing the relationships between education, social class, and economic outcomes. By examining how schools function and the outcomes that they produce, Bowles and Gintis aimed to uncover the underlying mechanisms that linked education to the capitalist economy. One of the central concepts in Bowles and Gintis' Schooling in Capitalist America is the Correspondence Principle, which suggests that the structure and values of the education system reflects the needs of capitalist economy. For example, schools promote hierarchical relationships, competition and compliance, and this mirrors the organisation of workplaces. This correspondence ensures that students are socialised to accept their future roles in the labour market. Bowles and Gintis also argue that the education system continues social inequalities. Children from wealthy, privileged backgrounds are more likely to succeed in school and access higher education, which in turn leads to better job opportunities. On the other hand, children from working class or poor families will face numerous barriers that hinder their educational success, which limits their economic prospects. Bowles and Gintis also challenged the idea that the education system is a meritocracy, where individuals succeed based upon their abilities and efforts. Instead, they argue that socioeconomic background plays a significant role in educational achievement. Factors such as family income, parental education, and social networks will heavily influence a student's chances of success, making the idea of an equal opportunity an illusion. Bowles and Gintis also highlight how schools function as mechanisms of social control by instilling certain values and behaviours such as obedience and punctuality. Schools help maintain social order and stability. This socialisation process ensures that individuals are well suited to their future roles in a capitalist economy, whether as workers or managers. Bowles and Gintis do have their critics. One criticism of Bowles and Gintis' work is that it adopts a highly deterministic view of education and social outcomes. Critics argue that Bowles and Gintis downplay the agency of individuals and the potential for schools to act as sites of resistance and change. Not all students passively accept the roles that are assigned to them by the education system, and many teachers and schools will actively work to challenge inequality. Another criticism is that Bowles and Gintis place too much emphasis on economic factors and neglect other important factors on education such as culture, identity and politics. Critics suggest that a more comprehensive analysis would consider how these factors interact with economic structures to shape educational experiences and outcomes. Some critics argue that the empirical evidence used by Bowles and Gintis to support their claims is limited and sometimes selective. While their theoretical arguments are useful, the data they present may not fully capture the complexity of the education system and its impact on social mobility. And since the publication of Schooling in Capitalist America, there have been significant changes in both the education system and society at large. Critics argue that the book's analysis may not fully account for these changes, such as the rise of technology, shifts in the labour market, and evolving educational policies. As a result, some of the book's conclusions may need to be revisited in light of contemporary changes. Schooling in Capitalist America by Bowles and Gintis offers a critical analysis of the American education system, arguing that it serves to maintain and reproduce social and economic inequalities that are inherent in a capitalist society. Through the Correspondence Principle, the reproduction of inequality, the myth of meritocracy, and the role of education in social control, Bowles and Gintis highlight how schools prepare students to accept their roles in the labour market. While the book has been influential, it's also faced criticism for its deterministic view, overemphasis on economic factors, limited empirical evidence, and lack of consideration for changes in education and society. However, Bowles and Gintis' work provides a thought-provoking perspective on the relationship between education and social inequality, which encourages critical thinking about the broader social forces that shape educational experiences and outcomes. That concludes this Tutor to You Sociology topic video for GCSE Sociology. In this video we looked at Schooling in Capitalist America by Bowles and Gintis. Thanks for watching.